Good morning, welcome to Bitcoin Bounce. Today we're doing our Friday session where we do a recap on what happened this week, and we're just going to feature a few coins today. So today I really want to talk about the 8 top altcoins that I think it is a time for us to start to hodl right now. And then Deon is also going to just give us a proper overlook on what is happening with Bitcoin and Ethereum. Okay, so before we get to these 8 altcoins that I think, and I'm going to show you why I think this is the time to start hodling them right now. Deon, tell us what's happening in the markets.
Hi, morning Joseph, morning guys. Okay, so we can just start here with the US dollar. So the US dollar has been sliding since from October. It's been in a downwards momentum, and that's continuing at the moment, which is great for Bitcoin and all our cryptos. It really looks so. This is on the daily. You can see that the 50 has now crossed the 200 EMA, which is normally a good sign that it's going to continue for a while. You can see when it crossed to the upside how long that actually lasted, that run. So it could be that the US dollar is in for quite a bit of downside, and that's going to be awesome to push cryptos up, and especially Bitcoin. So that's good news for us there. And that obviously has pushed up the S&P 500 is looking good. It's about to break out, I think. So it's building momentum here to break out. Nasdaq as well. So both of them are going to have a good run if that dollar keeps on dropping. Then important one to watch for us with crypto is money flow into crypto. So you can see that money is actually flowing in, and there was a breakout from this channel that we were trading in. This is on the daily now. So this is all the cryptos, including BTC and ETH. But then if you have a look at the total 3 chart, which is all the cryptos excluding BTC and ETH, you can see that it's actually sliding down, which shows us that money flow at the moment is going into Bitcoin and Ethereum. So those are the coins that we should be trading. It looks or trading Bitcoin against other pairs, so that if the Bitcoin grows and you make victories there, that you actually winning on both sides. So just showing it's not kind of altcoin season yet, and our altcoin season chart we normally go to kind of confirms that. So it's Bitcoin season, you can see there. So we have to wait for. So normally the big bull runs normally start with Bitcoin running, then Ethereum, and then the big altcoins start running after that. Okay, so if we get then to Bitcoin, I think I'll just go through maybe Bitcoin. We can run through all the charts. I'll start on the weekly. So Bitcoin on the weekly is actually looking quite strong. It's about to do a breakout here. So if we just have a quick recap of the year. So we started in November with that big drop, and then we actually found support, and the lunar crash, it looked as if we were actually going to bounce here and slowly but surely start going up. Then we had the lunar crash, and we just started building a base again, and then the FTX crash came, and you can see we're about to actually break out above this. So Bitcoin, in theory, just looking back, has actually been strong all along. It's just been issues and the markets and so on, the macros, that have actually caused all this, and black swan events like Luna and this FTX crash. So I think underlying Bitcoin is actually still quite strong. If we move down to the daily, we're still trading in this pattern here and haven't broken out yet in this parallel channel. And then if we go down to the hour time frame, so these we marked out in a chart earlier this week, where all these came from, so you guys can go and have a look at that, all these different patterns. I just want to zoom in a bit, sorry. So we had a few patterns that we were looking at. So this one obviously has been invalidated now. So it was just a symmetrical triangle, could break to either side, and eventually it broke down to the downside. So that one we can actually delete off our charts now. Then this pattern here, we were trading in that, and then we lost this parallel channel, but it looks like we're still going to come back into it. So I'm going to keep that one for a while. We can just keep on flipping through that. Then we had this line here, and when I drew this, we were round about here, and I said to you guys, when we break that line, I would be looking for a short, and I was beginning to think I was wrong when we hit this upside here. It looked like we weren't going to, but then the short that I was looking for actually came. So this one also has basically been invalidated, so I can delete that. We won't use that anymore. And then this one here was the ascending triangle, which the target was actually up there. We got it from that first touch there, so theoretically this should have broken up to the top side. My target was around about 22,000, but we didn't get that breakout, and eventually, so it was just a fake out. Yeah, but it was a nice little trade which we gave to you if you go back in our videos. So I think there was a good 2-3% odd, and if you had leverage on that, it would have been even better. But then this broke to the downside, and then actually kind of hit that target. So this has also been invalidated. I'm going to take that off our charts, and then a new pattern that I think is forming is I found this little 1 hour channel. So I'll keep this running for now. So it looks as if Bitcoin is going to run this channel, could come down to the bottom. At the moment it's struggling there with that halfway mark, so we can keep that running. And then also there's this very good W pattern, which is a reversal pattern, so this is quite nice. So it's a W, and if to confirm it, if it comes back down to test that part of the W there, then it's like a confirmed W, and this would be the target. Obviously we've got to be careful, but everything is in our favor. The dollar's dropping, no big news events, so I think we might just find a base here and gradually start going up would be kind of my trade for Bitcoin here. And then jumping over to Ethereum, basically the same thing. So both of them have still got this yellow line that we've drawn in the beginning of the week or last week already, and I said that we wouldn't be going to the top side, so don't put in a solid trade to the top side until we've broken this line, and then these little support zones here, or resistance at the moment. So once we've broken this yellow line convincingly, and I think in this case this little zone here, then you can take a trade to that zone there at least, and maybe then up to the top side, this zone up here. And also on Ethereum there's that exact same W pattern. It didn't quite come down as far as on Bitcoin, but it's good enough to kind of see it as a W with a breakout. So I would be also thinking that Ethereum here is going to just bottom out here and start going to the upside. ADA, we're trading in these zones, so it looks as if this is convincing that we hold under this, then I would probably be looking for a short. Maybe it's just a short to come and retest this this little area here. So maybe I can just pull it down so you guys can just see what I'm talking about. So kind of this little zone here that we might be coming to retest. So it could be, you can just keep an eye on the stochastic as well. Sorry, these things just keep on popping up in my way, the Zoom goodies. So it could be that you could just wait for the cross here on the stochastic when the green crosses back up to the top, which might be just coming to retest this zone here, which would be perfect for a W reversal pattern. So maybe just wait a bit before you get into this, or if there's a convincing down candle, then maybe get in for a quick trade to the downside. So I'd keep an eye on that. I think MATIC is also kind of similar in the middle of these zones, so you'd have to keep an eye. So we're either going to find support here, which we've done previously, you can see there, or we're coming down to just retest the zone, and then you'd have a very nice, so if you're patient, both of them, I think you should just wait to see if we're going to come and touch this zone, and that would make a nice long up to the top. And XRP, looks like XRP is also bounced on that zone, so it's kind of leading, I think, the other two. You can see here in the stochastic we've just had the cross there, so, and the RSI is about to cross above the 50, so maybe just wait for that. But it looked like you can get into XRP, and XRP I've just found this kind of zone that it's like this whole zone that we're coming, so we either come and tap the bottom of this or break into it and then back down. So you can see every time we kind of just get somewhere, so that's why I've just drawn this channel here. So anywhere in there it looks like we could get a reversal. So just be ready if you do take this trade to the upside, then just be ready for a rejection, maybe around about that halfway mark there. You can see it's been kind of every time where it's bounced back down. So we would have to break above this little halfway mark, I think, and then that is ahead of you. So just be careful with XRP, sorry. So the safest trade would be to just do this long trade up here, starting there. Once we've broken everything is kind of what looks like there's a lot of noise in here, unless you just do like small little scalps. And then our other two trades that we were looking at was this WRX, so we got into that. It's dropped below our dollar cost price. Remember, we were trading above it for quite some time, then yesterday we had a pullback down, and we're getting up to that area again. But this is just one of those if in doubt, zoom out. That's why we got into this coin. Is that the potential upside, it just makes these vicious wicks to the top side, so we're just waiting. You can see that we're busy accumulating, and I'm just expecting a good week up to this 20% mark. So this is just one of those to be patient. That's how we took this trade. We weren't going to take a stop loss. Remember, we had the two buy-ins and we were just going to wait out for one of those spikes. And then Joseph's AVAX trade, I think, is still looking very good. So it's strong. It looks like it's finding support here and maybe hover around, but bounce about, and then it's going to the top side. So that's also looking good. That's it from me, Joseph.
Okay, awesome. Thank you very much, Deon. Okay, so Deon, I'm gonna just share my screen here for us. I wanna now start talking about altcoin season. So they got here on this chart is from the altcoin season index, so you can go on blockchaincenter.net, and I got it there. It's a free website. You don't have to sign in to access this information. Is very cool. So our Bitcoin season level is now at 22. So Deon, do you understand, it writes here on this graph, if it's above 75 is altcoin season and below 25 is Bitcoin season. Do you understand what that means?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, what does that mean if, for the guy that don't know this chart, what do you think that means?
So basically, I would, if I had to open trades now on altcoins, I would buy them with Bitcoin so that the pair, both of them, go up at the same time. So as you take small victories in your altcoin, your Bitcoin is also going up in value. Or otherwise, I would just trade Bitcoin first until it's altcoin season and then get into the alts. Unless you're going to start gradually just laddering into positions. So that would be a good time now, because when Bitcoin spikes, it's going to start pulling all the altcoins up with it. So if it is Bitcoin season, then obviously it's a good time to buy Bitcoin. But as soon as Bitcoin starts moving, we all know then the altcoins that run after it. So it would be a good time to ladder into the altcoins, even though it's not altcoin season yet.
Okay, so what this chart represents, it measures all the prices of the top, the top 50, the top 50 altcoins. And then if the top 50 altcoins, more of them are performing better than Bitcoin, then this chart goes upwards. If less of them are performing better than altcoin, the chart goes downwards. Now, altcoin season is usually when more than 75% of all the altcoins are doing better than Bitcoin. Then we go into this territory like we had from August 22 until September 22. Okay, but then when we go into Bitcoin season, it means less than 25% of the altcoins are performing better than Bitcoin, and so then it's Bitcoin season. And so right now 22, we are 22%, so that means 22% of the altcoins are better. Now if you go and look there at the chart, you can actually count these. This is the 50 altcoins, and here you can see FX, LTC, Phantom, Dodge, LDO, Ethereum, Monero, SHIB, all of those, MATIC, all of these are performing better than Bitcoin. And then of course you got a long list of altcoins that's doing worse than Bitcoin. So this is a very important chart. Now, typically what you want when we go into Bitcoin season, you want Bitcoin to at least for 3 months or so to remain in Bitcoin season. And then another thing is also, I would say we would want Bitcoin to go at least to $35,000 before we have a reversal of this to go to altcoin season. So that's kind of for me the mark where we say, okay, we are in altcoin season the moment Bitcoin go over $35,000. But I identified 8 coins that I think that we can start to hodl right now during this Bitcoin season, because obviously you're going to get really good prices. Okay, so if I go on my Bitcoin chart, so this is actually a weekly chart. So this is really looking from 2020, that big up run that we had over there at the end of 2019. And so what you actually find here is that this is a very, very long-term trend line. Now, I know some people draw this trend line like this and say we just had a breakout, but really if you look at this trend line, let me just get my drawing tool out here. Where is that thing? It's probably here somewhere. Okay, now I can't see which my, oh, there it is. Yeah, you'll notice we had on a trend line as a resistance there, and then we had another resistance again. We had another resistance, and then recently we had one, but then we broke out. And so on this very, very long-term weekly trend line, we've had a very, very solid break. Obviously, a falling wedge is a bullish signal. And then if we go and look here at the RSI, we had a bounce on the RSI right here. And so we got a very strong trend line to the upside on the RSI also. And so all of that kind of indicates to us that we are in a critical low position where the market is turning. And then, of course, we're looking for this 35 level. The moment Bitcoin reaches the 35 level, then I would say from this point now we can start switching over from Bitcoin and focus more on the altcoins. But in the meanwhile, we can start to hodl them. Okay, so if I redraw a chart here, so you can see on the RSI how nicely Bitcoin actually has bounced on the RSI and now went to the upside. Okay, now let me get into my coins that I want. So the first coin I want to look at is Ethereum. So Ethereum had this on a weekly chart. Ethereum had this long-term trend line, and then it had a fake out, but it bounced on the support line very nicely, and now we had a proper breakout out of this wedge. Okay, so now I think Ethereum will probably be more sideways than it will actually just shoot up. But if we look here at the RSI at the bottom, you can see how nicely it has bounced on that support line. So it's two very strong indications that Ethereum has turned, and that's why I think even if you just would buy a little bit of Ethereum once a month or once every week, then you can start to build up a good stash of Ethereum. Cardano, it didn't have as nice a breakout as the Ethereum yet, because if you look at this long term, it's a very, very strong fall that Cardano pretty much had for a very long consecutive run. So a lot of people are actually a little bit scared of ADA, especially when you look at this weekly chart. But again, we had this very, very long trend line on our RSI, which now thoroughly broke with ADA, and that is a very good signal. So you got again two signals. You got the signal on the RSI, and then you got the break on this falling wedge. So that will be my second coin. My third one, of course, is XRP. Now, XRP actually didn't have that big fall that Cardano had. It also supported this upward trend line very, very strongly. It almost had a fake out just 2 candles ago. But then if we look here at the RSI, it supported this RSI very, very strongly. So that's why I'm very optimistic about XRP. So that's why I recommend hodling XRP also. The next one is MATIC, and obviously we like the MATIC coin. The MATIC coin really didn't have the down run that all the other coins had. You can see it's actually very parallel, but MATIC broke through, and then that little red candle kind of formed a support on our falling trend line. which is a good indication. Also here on our RSI, same story. We got support here on MATIC. Then the next coin is of course the AVAX, and a very strong break to the upside. We also had this trend line on the RSI that was broken. We haven't had a bounce hit like we had on the other coins on AVAX. So AVAX probably is probably lower on my list of coins that I would hodl right now. So now I got 3 more coins I want to add, which is not on our list. But I wanted to show you this Atom coin. We had a very good breakout on Atom. So you can see Atom is very volatile, going up and down. I actually like Atom as a DCA coin. And the reason is just because it gives you this long swoops. It's easy to get out of any DCA trade with Atom. Of course, it had this long trend line, it broke it. Now it's looking like it's reaching support, so there's a very good chance for Atom to go up, and I also think it's a great project to hodl in. Then the Dogecoin. Okay, so the Dogecoin, actually, if you go back here to the altcoin season list, you'll see Dogecoin is actually one of the coins that outperformed Bitcoin quite substantially, and so that's why I thought Dogecoin. Also the same story, a nice support here on the trend line on the RSI, and then finally BNB. Now if you look at this BNB chart and you compare that BNB chart, for instance, with the Cardano chart that had a long down run and now a small break, the BNB actually didn't have that big of a down run. I also think a lot of people that were trading on FTX is now moved over to Binance, and then some of the smaller exchanges also lost a lot of customers that went over to Binance just because Binance is big and trusted. So I think the BNB coin actually is going to gain on the long term from all of this fear in the market, and so you can also see how the BNB coin really didn't have a big downtrend, and there's expectation for BNB to go much higher. Hey, Deon, that was my 8 coins that I recommend to hodl for altcoin season. Let me stop the share. So what do you think about my list, Deon?
Yeah, I love them all. I think they're very cool. And that BNB one, especially, I think you're right. No one's looking at that bigger picture with everyone moving over to the Binance exchange. And I mean, that coin was very strong, and it did drop, and it's kind of disappeared off everyone's radar. But I think you're right. Remember that time when BNB was like $20, $20 to $30 for so long, and before we knew it, it just shot up to $300, $600. This is crazy. And I think you're right, it's about to just do that again once the fear in the market is gone. Can I quickly just share again? There was something else that I just wanted to show you guys while we're on this weekly chat. The one thing that's very interesting is when you were looking at this Bitcoin chart, is that if you look at, this is also on the weekly that you were looking at, some people are drawing it, correctly, like off that week there, and saying, okay, that we had a breakout and then a retest, and we're going up, and we're like very bullish now. And then other people are using that week there to say, okay, cool, so that is the we also bullish. So both of these guys are very bullish. But if you look at on TradingView on the right hand side, you can look at either, sorry, this keeps on just popping up in my way, either the regular chart or the log chart. So the log chart is the percentage difference in price, and long term, that's a much more accurate way to actually look at how something is doing. So if you look at the log chart, you can see that percentage wise, according to the log chart, if you take that week there, we're not actually broken out, and we're not actually in bull season. I think I didn't watch all of Steve's last video. I didn't have time to watch the whole thing, but I think he also in one of his videos started to mention this is the actual chart that you should be looking at. So many people are super bullish, but we're still kind of in a bear market. Technically, we still have to be careful of another drop like that. It could happen. You and I and most people think the bottom is in when we hit it here. Well, we actually thought this was just due to the FTX crash. But so we still just have to be careful until on the log that we start breaking out here and then really being super bullish. And I think also that's just to confirm why you in Bitcoin, why you're in Bitcoin season. And then this other chart here, remember this rainbow chart is starting to look very, very cool. Yeah, is that at last we've broken back into that blue zone. Which is fantastic. Everyone was very nervous when you dropped out of it, and the last few times that has happened, we've had major up cycle from there. But as you say, it just stayed in the blue zone for some time before it actually, like there we were consolidating before we had nice pumps. So yeah, just to show that chart as well. Yeah, that's it from me, Joseph.
Okay, guys, I think we did a very nice recap on where we are in the markets today. Also tell us which are your favorite coins that you think we should hodl right now. We're going to be back again on Monday. So in this week, we're going to try to every day give you at least 1 or 2 signals every day that you can trade. Have a fantastic weekend. See you next time. Thank you, Deon.
Thank you, guys. Have a good weekend. Cheers, man.